Go from there, eh? I can tire. I like it. Right, so we're gonna pop the bonnet first of all. Down the bottom here. Yes, you can. Fantastic. I think I've shown you one time, Michaela. Maybe. Maybe. I can't remember exactly. Alright, so we'll bring you over the top here. Yeah, this is your engine bay right here. There we go. Tire you out. Got him! Love it. I'll get a light over the top of here as well. It'd be good if I had the extension cable for that. That'd be super handy. But of course not. Super unorganized today. Just like always, Adam. Just like always. Actually, I've got an idea. So we don't run out of light in that bad boy ever. How's everyone going today anyway? You had a good day? Interesting? Productive? Stepdad showed me a bit when I first bought my car when I was 16. Just showed you how to do bits and pieces. So this car's going to be a little bit different from what most people would know. So this is a diesel. Good my nails though, I'm watching a TV show so I will look. No worries, Michaela. This is a diesel engine. So diesel engines work a little bit different to petrol engines. But generally speaking, your diesel engine, it doesn't run on direct injection. Oh, it does, but in a different way. So like with your petrol engines obviously have a spark plug which ignites the fuel. When it comes to diesel engines actually combust the diesel or compress the diesel under pressure, and that's what ignites it. So, because diesel isn't flammable, yeah, you can throw a match, you can throw a whole match into a diesel tank, and it won't light. So, if anyone ever does that trick on you and you shit yourself, now you know. So if I have a tank of diesel and I throw a match at it, it'll go out. It's the engine of a car. It is an engine of a car. I did 15,000 steps today at work, ready for bed. My day's been literally just organising shit, parts and stuff for the next week, so I've got to work on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Setting things up, getting ready to go back to work. I did stock takes. Done a whole bunch of stuff today. But I've been trying to set this up for the last 3 hours because I just had too many technical problems, you know. But if I get internet down at the warehouse, like properly set up, I might actually be able to do it properly, you know. Like, but in the meantime, we're just gonna make do with what we have. So yeah, the first thing we want to do, I'm gonna put some gloves on first because I don't want to make a mess with my get shit everywhere. And we're going to take our cover off the engine. Now every modern car you'll notice has a plastic cover for absolutely no other reason than aesthetics. Basically. Well, I don't think so anyway. If we can get this fucking thing off, is the hard part. There we go. Alright. So, plastic cover. Get rid of that shit. Now down here, don't know whether you can see this or not. I'll bring this in. So down here we've got oh look. Bring you in nice and close. we go. So this is your diesel injection. So injectors here. This is where your oil goes in here. You got your oil cap, which we're going to undo. Open her up. Over here, this is your brake fluid reservoir, right? That's where your brake fluid goes in. You've got your dipstick here, which is where you check your oil. I'll show you how to do that as well. Down here, this stand is fucking terrible. Down here, we've got, that's where we're going to top up our water. So for our windscreen wipers. So it's always, the water for the windscreen wipers is always going to have that little symbol on it there. That little water symbol there. That's your wiper symbol, yeah? And it's always going to be, most of the time, it's either blue or yellow cap, yeah? So you can't miss it. So if you ever need to top that up, at least you know where that is, right? Over here is your air box. That's where your air filter goes. We'll show you where that is too. And if I can get this stand to work, that'd be so cool. Back here. It's going to be a little bit of an exercise, but we'll get it done. Put that up there. That. Perfect. Right. Over here we've got your battery. So this is where you test your battery. You get your positive, your negative terminal over here. Fuse box up the back here. Your fuel pump, or your diesel pump, is down here. That's where your filter goes, down there. Got a primer on top. Roller body here. And coolant expansion tag is here. So this is where you top up your coolant, yeah? Now there's a little line on the side here that's going to tell you when it's full and when it's not full. And that's, you're going to top it up to that full line. It's all pretty straightforward stuff, guys. It is a 4-cylinder, 2.5 litre diesel for an iLoad. 2020 iLoad. Badass. So, pretty straightforward stuff. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to top up all our fluids and then jack the car up. And then we're going to get underneath, we're going to drain our oil. So, first things first, we'll top up our washer fluid. Easy ones first. So what we do is we pull this out here. You go over there. Now what I tend to do when I do the washer fluid is I'm going to put some additive in first. So this here is a washer additive. And then you put like 60 ml of this in. So 60 mils in here. Right? So that's just so that when you spray your water on your windscreen, when you spray the water on your windscreen, it's gonna self-clean with the additive in it, yeah. So you don't have to wash your windscreen every 5 seconds. It's sort of like a little thing that helps the smearing effect. What does the 2.5 litre mean? So a 2.5 litre, basically that's if you have a 4-cylinder car, each cylinder is made up of a different cubic, right? Now, 2.5 litres is basically like if you divide that by 4, that's how the capacity of each cylinder, right? So if I was to say someone had 2 litre, so simple example, if you have a 2 litre petrol car, each cylinder's capacity is half a litre, right? So that's that's how it's measured, yeah. So if you have a sump that has, so the oil capacity of an engine is not necessarily the same as the cubic capacity of an engine, if that makes sense. So you might have 5 litres of oil in an engine, but only have a 2 litre engine because it's not related. It's to do with the cubic power ratio of each cylinder. Alright, so we're going to get our water. Gotcha? Right. So this is my little water drum. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the tap on here. And the water's going to flow straight down into our reservoir. Now the reservoir will be full when it, basically just let it, you can let it overflow. And as soon as it overflows, you know it's full. Axe. Yeah. Saves use it. This is what I use when I go out to other people's houses and service their cars and stuff. I use this drum, this 10-liter drum. Now each water or each washer system shouldn't take any more than like 2 to 4 liters. I've never seen one that took like 10 liters or some shit. So that shouldn't take too much. It should only take about 2 or 4 liters. So we'll just let that empty in. You can just literally leave that going. Genius. So we're also going to top up our coolant. Now your coolant reservoir can actually be topped up with water, yeah? So when it comes to coolant, in your cooling system, you have what's called coolant concentrate or antifreeze, right? Now what that is it's a type of chemical that monitors maintains the temperature of the engine, yeah, to below a certain degree, so it doesn't overheat. So between the oil lubricating the parts so that friction doesn't overheat them, and the coolant maintaining the temperature of the actual block of the engine, you can regulate the temperature. It doesn't overheat and it doesn't warp, because obviously metal expands under extreme temperatures, right? So without the two, the car will overheat. So that's why it's important to change your oil, because your oil clumps after it gets really old, yeah? And so it doesn't flow as well, and then it doesn't regulate the temperature as well. And it's always good to change your coolant every now and again, because it can go down and evaporate and stuff like that, because it still has water in it, yeah? So it can evaporate over time with heat and stuff, so you do need to check it and change it every now and again. Now your coolant, like I said, is made up of 50-50, yeah? So coolant is made up of 50-50 water and 50-50 coolant concentrate. Now you can change the ratio of that to like maybe a third coolant or 2/3 coolant, whatever you decide. But it's up to you what conditions you drive in, because you might be getting up to like below freezing temperatures, or you might be getting up to like 40-degree heat. It just depends how much coolant you need, yeah? Well, that's good that that died straight away. Always good. Let's plug that in. Academic, I'm on my way out, but I'll drop you a alert. I'll be back. I'll definitely be viewing the VOD. Won't miss a chance to learn. No worries, Academic. You have a good day. So yeah, you always need to make sure that you've got enough coolant in your car and you've got enough oil in your car. So too little oil cause it overheat and expand. Too much oil will cause it to not be able to move in the right way. Alright, so our water is topped up, as you can see. So we've got full tank of washer. Now over here we're going to go for, let's have a look, so we can see. So we've got 4 marks over this side. It's down below the low mark. So we're just going to top this up with water. It'll only take like maybe half a litre. So you can only top it up with water so many times before you actually have to change it, yeah? Or start topping it up with coolant. But the thing is, sometimes people put too much coolant in. Can actually not be a good thing. Alright. So you just need to if you don't know the ratio of what you need for your vehicle, you should be able to look it up in your manufacturer specifications as well. One other thing I'm going to do before we get underneath. So this little Duvalaki here, this is a battery tester. So every single time I service a car, I do a battery test, yeah? So we're going to hook this up to our battery, and we're going to check the battery. We're going to drag over here a little bit. There. Whoop. Not that far. Hello. You know what? Fuck you. This is professional at its work, at its best, alright? No judgy. Just doing what I can. Can't understand cars or car talk, but I feel like I should learn. Appreciate you taking the time to share. Yeah, look, if you have any questions, Moo, just ask. Alright? I'm putting it in as best layman's terms as I can for people who don't understand cars. But if there's anything you need clarification on, you just need to ask. And I'll do my best to explain it to you. Right, so on your battery you have a positive terminal and a negative terminal. Now your negative terminal on your battery is connected to earth. So earth on your car is just anywhere on the body, or a good connection of metal. Now your positive connection is connected to everything past that. So your alternator, the computer system, your starter motor, all that kind of stuff. So without these two things connected together on this battery, you have no power to your car. Okay? So what we'll do is look up our battery tester. Now if you're ever going to jumpstart your car, guys, do me a favor, look up your positive first, yeah? So the way electricity works is your electricity flows to the negative. Now I know that sounds incorrect in your brain, but trust me on this. The way it works is that if you ever understand how protons, electrons, and nuclei work, right? You know how your electrons are always on the outside, and they're always the ones moving? They move around the positive, yeah? You guys remember that in science, yeah? So your negative terminal is where the power is being drawn to. Without a negative connection, without an earth connection, the power, you know what I mean? So without it doesn't draw anywhere, right? So you always hook up, whenever you're trying to jumpstart your car, guys, don't hook up to your negative first. Because if you hook up to your negative first, you've already started that live connection, yeah? If you hook up to your positive first, you haven't started that live connection yet. Because remember, the power is flowing this way. Yeah? So you've got your positive on, negative on. Right? And then, now we have power. So anytime you jumpstart your car, positive first, negative second. It's a safety thing, yeah, correct. Correct. So if you ever hook up to your negative first, then your positive, you're actually drawing power out of the car before you even start, which can actually cause you can cause a short, yeah. It's not. Look, it's not. It probably won't happen. The chances of it happening are very slim because the way battery jump starters are built these days, they're built with safety switches in them. So generally speaking, if you do it the opposite way, it won't shit itself. But the correct way is positive then negative, yeah? So now we've got our analyzer, battery analyzer. You guys can see that, right? I'm going to select the battery analyzer and we're going to go to in our vehicle because it's standard. Now, there is a number on the battery of how many cold cranking amps it takes for the battery to be at full charge, yeah? Now, your cold cranking amps here on this battery is 720. Okay, so we're going to select cold cranking amps and we're going to go up to 720. And you have to manually do this because it's only a cheapie. Whoop, we got past it, so we go back down a bit. Alright, we're at 720, guys. We're going to do our battery test. We're going to run the test. Now it's going to tell us the actual charge of the battery right now is 735, which means that battery is 100% charged. Okay? So if you saw anything under, see, good battery, right? So if you saw anything under 720, right, it means it's not as charged as it could be. If you see, say, 50% of that, say you see a cold cranking of 360, right, on this 720 battery, it's time to replace your battery because you don't have it. Because this is a non-serviceable battery. You can't open or close these batteries. They're closed. Yeah. If there's anything wrong with this thing, you just throw it out and replace it. That's the world we live in. Yeah. Haven't done science for a long time. This is different. Nice music choice. Hey, Millennial Falcon, welcome in. Also, Moo, welcome in as well. And Begun Snow 1990, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Alright, so. A little bit of a different stream, guys. Normally, guys, I stream video games and stuff, but my job in real life is a mechanic, yeah? So, I just thought, we've had a few requests for a car stream. So I thought we'll give it a go. So obviously this is where we top up our oil. We're not going to top it up. First we're going to drain it, yeah? So to drain the oil, we have to get underneath the car. Now to get underneath the car, we're going to have to jack it up. So I'm going to get my jack in here, and we're going to jack the car up. I'm going to show you where you jack your car up from, so you don't end up jacking it from the wrong place, yeah? If we can get this, we're going to have to drop you all the way down now. Now you're going to have to excuse me for my shoddy camera work, because I'm using my camera on this stand that sucks. So, I'm just going to get my jack. Again guys, if you have any questions, like general car questions, anything really, like if I can answer it, I'll answer it. But if I don't know the answer, I'm sure we can figure it out. Alright, so this is our jack, yeah? So, before you jack up a car, you need to know two things, yeah? Or a couple things. One, you need to know the load rating of your jack, okay? So, the load rating of most jacks is 3 ton. There's a lot of cheapy ones, they're only 1.5. So if you're jacking anything up that's bigger than like, say like a i30 or something like that, you need to make sure that the load rating is correct. Otherwise the hydraulics on this could break and you could crash yourself with the car, yeah? So, this one's rated to 3 ton. This truck's about 2 and a bit. So, and obviously this is how it works here, right? So now to get the air out of this, because it's been in the car for a little while, I'm just going to jack it like this. Get the air out. And twist it. Now when we want to jack up the car, there's jacking points that are set in your user manual. So if you're not sure where your jacking points are, your user manual should have the jacking points in it. Yeah? But if not, there's pretty much some guaranteed places where you can jack the car up that are going to be okay. So, I'm actually going to take you underneath the car now, guys. Undo this. See how we go. Alright. So, whoop. See if we can get that correct. Alright, we can kind of see underneath. I'm going to bring the torch down with us so we can see everything. Like that. Right, so under our car, now, the jacking point. There is there's a chassis rail, right? That's just here. Right there. Now that's a real strong point for jacking. Yeah? Because that's the cross brace for the car. Now you want to jack it off your cross brace. Because if you jack it, so there's other places on the car you can't jack it off. If you have any mounts or anything like that, do not jack it off a mount, because a mount can break. This is a solid chassis rail. So this is part of the actual framework of the car. Generally speaking, that's the perfect place to jack the car up, yeah? So, gonna get our jacks as well. Now each jack that we have as well is rated to 2.5 ton each. So that's 2.5 tons on each corner, yeah? So when you jack the car up, you need to then put it on jack stands. Never, ever, ever work under a car with just a hydraulic jack. If the hydraulic jack fails, it will crush your face. And no one likes a crushed face. So, make sure you jack it up, and then you put your jacks underneath and drop it back on your jacks. So then you have a sturdy base, so it doesn't fall on your face. That rhymes? Not supposed to. Alright. So now we jack it up. Also checking the roof so I don't fucking hit the roof because my car's really high. Right, so your tyres off the ground. We have lift off, we do. Alright. So we're still going. Right, so now tyres are off the ground. Right. Taking my jumper off. It's hot. So we've got our tyres off the ground. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our jacks under. So there should be jacking points on each car. Sometimes they're on the chassis and sometimes they're on the outer edges, so like at the sill. But for this one, we're going to put them under the chassis, under this point and under this point. So this is our jack. So they're going to be even on both sides, yeah? So I get 2 notches on each, right about there. Then we lower it nice and slow. Right. So now the weight of the front end is on those jack stands. Do you give it a wiggle after? Absolutely. Don't ever get under a car unless you give it a push. Now, if someone is to come along, look, I don't know that this would happen, but if someone's to come along and knock the car while you're working under it and it falls on your face, that would be a really bad day. So we do this, shake the car, all good. It's not going anywhere. Now, the back wheels aren't off the ground, you'll notice. A lot of the times, I would recommend, if you're going to work under a car, put 4 jacks on with all 4 wheels off the ground. Now, because this car is quite heavy and it is based at the back and I've got all the stuff in the back I want to use, I'm actually going to not jack the back wheels off, but I'm still going to chock them. So that even though the handbrake is on and it's in gear, so it's not, there's 2 points of contact there, yeah? I'm still going to put chocks under the wheels just in case, yeah? The best kind of chocks you can get that I find are the best if you're working on your car like this are these orange trailer chocks. So these are the ones here, yeah? So these trailer chocks are really good because what happens is they have little ridges on them to stop the tire from moving. You can see? They're used for trailers, like really heavy trailers. Like I'm talking like 4 to 8 ton trailers. So you know, like big caravans and shit. You can get them at Bunnings for like $30, or I think super cheap as well. So pretty good to have for handy, especially if you're working on stuff like this. Right, so we chocked our back wheels. We're good to go. Now next we're going to get our rolly creeper. Funny name. Zoom here. So we can get under the car without breaking our fucking back. Because my back's already fucked as it is. Hey, Sunshine Cat's here. Let's go. How are we? Welcome. Alright, so our roll is here. Now we have to locate our sump. Alright. So, sump's up here. So we're going to need to take our tray off. Now this is our cover tray here. We're going to take this off so we can get more access to our sump. Now it looks like it's a 10 mil on each, so I'm going to get my ratchet and get those off. Free car service giveaway? Oh, yeah, the problem with that is that not everyone lives in the same place. Doing well, my dad's a mechanic, but I never got to learn anything before he moved across the country. What's on the car to-do list today? We are servicing. So we're changing the oil on this one. So we're changing the oil, oil and filter, basic service. So I'm showing you everything you need to do on a basic service on a basic car. Thank you for the host. Sincerely, Sunshine Cat. I appreciate it. Am I the only one that doesn't have all this stuff? Life has steered me wrong. I learned how to change my oil, one of the few things. Yeah, it's a simple basic thing. A lot of people don't know though. A lot of people have no idea. So we're getting that done today. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm a mechanic with a compressor. Now usually you'd have to do this by hand, obviously. And also, guys, this is advice and information for you guys only. If you're going to service your own car, seek professional advice beforehand. So, or get a mechanic to do it. That's my advice. But this is for general knowledge, yeah, because not a lot of people would know how to do this. So I have a feeling that it's just a good thing to learn, yeah, just in case you get stuck somewhere or you have a problem. You might know a little bit more. You'd be like, oh wait, I remember that Rugged told me that. And that might help you get out of a bind, you know? So yeah, I would recommend getting a professional mechanic to do any of your work. But a lot of people do their own stuff these days. So you may as well do it properly, right? Free service. Proper lifty things so you don't get smushed. Yeah, proper jacks and jack stands. 100%. Just can't get logbook stamped. Yeah, because you don't have a ticket. Now the issue with that obviously is warranties. If anyone has a car in warranty and they do their own service, your warranty is void. Okay? Anytime anyone does a service on your car that isn't a professional mechanic or a registered independent or a dealer, your warranty is void. So keep that in mind if you're going to do your own service. Because the dealer will not cover any warranties, minor or major, if you decide to service your own vehicle. Okay? So do not attempt any work on your car without a registered mechanic or independent, unless your car is outside of warranty, whereas it probably doesn't really matter too much. The big question is, once I get it serviced, what will be the best that I can do to keep it healthy between those times? So, modern cars won't need interval maintenance from the customer. However, the best thing I would suggest, tire pressures. Tire pressures on modern vehicles, they drop significantly. And to maintain a good healthy tire, you will need to be doing your tire pressures at least once every month. Depending on how much driving you're doing, of course, but I would recommend the one thing a customer should be doing every single month check your tires. Make sure your tire pressures are the same and they're maintained as per the manufacturer specifications on your car, which is in your book or your service book, or there's a sticker down near your door, your passenger door, that gives you your tire pressures. That's the most important thing for customers. The other thing you can do, shouldn't have to worry about your oil too much, as long as it's been done correctly. The other thing you want to be doing is topping up your washer fluid. And you can also top up your coolant with water to the max line if you can see that and you understand how to do that. Other than that, maintenance-wise, when it comes to customers, I don't really think there's anything else you need to be doing. Your service intervals are set by the manufacturer, so if a manufacturer says you should have your car serviced every year, that's all you have to do. You shouldn't have to do anything in between. If there is anything that goes wrong in between, that's up to them to fix. So the manufacturer has recommendations for a reason. So, and they set the intervals as per the engineers decide. So, alright. So we're gonna take our cover off. Meet you up real quick. Right. Yeah, you guys don't need to hear the gun. That thing is loud as shit. I wanted to hear it at least one bolt. We'll do a wheel in a minute, and I'll show you. The main thing about doing it yourself, you know what's going on in it. You know what's getting actually done. Cheaper than the fact you did it yourself. Tell lads to try through. Yeah, look, I built a business on my own name. So my business is built from scratch on my own reputation. So, not to brag or anything, because I'm not trying to brag, but there's a reason that, you guys know me personally. Like, I'm the commitment I make to the community and to my Twitch channel and stuff, double that, and that's the commitment I make to my business. So, I take it very seriously, and I make sure I do everything correctly, even if it takes longer. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, what's the point? You know, like. You grow a reputation as a shit mechanic, you'll always be a shit mechanic. But I've spent my entire career trying to build one as a good one, so hopefully I did it correctly. Too professional last time they pinched something, now it leaks oil and the orange end light now comes on. Poor Lola. Not Lola. Love that so much, yeah. Put a lot of effort into things. Otherwise, What's the point? If you're not going to do it correctly, don't do it. That's sort of my philosophy on things. And I do that. I'm like that with pretty much everything. If I don't know how to do something, I don't know how to do it correctly, I don't do it. Because it's just like, or I learn how to, you know. Now, when we drain our oil, we have what's called a sun plug. This is your sun plug here, right? This little doovalaki. If you can see it, push a little bit closer. So this is a sun plug. Now that's the lowest point of your sump pan. So when you drain the oil from there, that's the lowest point. All the oil will come out, or majority of it. You also have an oil filter. The oil filter on this car is back over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna organize this. So this one's gonna be for our filter, and this one's gonna be for our plug. Now, since this filter is all the way at the back here, so it's up here, yeah? We're gonna actually undo that first. I'm gonna show you where that is too. Now, can we see? Now, let's just adjust that for you. It's hard to tell with this PC because I can't see the screen at the same time as adjusting the camera. Better? Sort of. Hold on. So, if you guys can see that blue thing up there? Look straight underneath. See that, guys? That's your oil filter, yeah? So your oil filter has to be spun off and spun back on again. You spin a new one on. So that's actually what filters your oil as it comes in and out of your engine. So what we're going to do is, we're going to replace that, yeah? So we need a tool for that to turn it off. So I'm just going to move you back over here. I remember the first time we looked under the hood of my fiance's 2017 Volkswagen Beetle 99 Civic hatch was like, what in the heck, yeah. Well, look, I specialize in Volkswagens and Audis, modern cars. So like, from like, sort of like 2008 up to present. That's sort of the vehicles that I work on. Volkswagens, Audis, BMWs, and Mercedes. So all European standard cars. So that's sort of my bread and butter. A bit of background on me, guys. I used to work for Audi. Worked for Audi for many years before I started my own business, and my niche, so to say, when I used to work on Audis was engine repair and engine diagnostics. I used to be the person who used to rebuild the engines, do all the ECU checks, electrical problems, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So this for me is pretty much straightforward stuff. I don't usually do a lot of service work. More for me, it's more like technical diagnostics. Stuff that other people probably don't know or can't figure out. They call me, you know. Water pumps, intake manifolds, throttle body management, that kind of shit. All the fun stuff. If I'm really stumped, I'll have to send my car to an electrician to help me out. But most of the time, I can get it done. There's not many things I can't fix nowadays, but there's always a way to look it up. Yeah. Koshi, how are we? Good to see you, mate. Alright, so we're going to get our oil filter removal tool, and also going to get our ring spanner to undo our sump plug. Oh, thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. Alright. So we've got our oil filter removal tool here. I'll show you what that is. You'll be able to see it when I put it up there. So that's this. This is our oil filter removal tool. Now when you turn it, it tightens and loosens, yeah? So what we want to do is we're going to loosen off. So that's going to be that way. So we're going to put it up towards our filter. And now that's on. I'm going to pull. It's going to be tight. Then what you'll notice is, as soon as I undo this a little bit more, the oil will start coming out of that filter. Watch. Because you break the seal on it. Ready? There we go. So as you can see, the oil is now coming out of that filter. Yeah, cheers, Dad. Appreciate it. Now, we are now going to drain our oil as well. So our oil is here, obviously. So we're going to move this a little bit. In this direction. There you go. Right, you guys can still see that. So, while the filter is draining, before we take it all the way off, we're going to now take our oil plug off. Now you don't always have to, you can always, usually you would drain the oil so at the plug and then the filter, but because the filter's in a shit spot on this car, to get to the filter after you start the oil draining, you actually just get covered in oil, yeah? So we're making our life a little bit easier by doing it in the opposite direction. It doesn't really matter how they drain as long as they drain, right? Also, most cars, the manufacturer will recommend you drain the car for 10 minutes. Because that will be enough for the entire oil system to drain. Alright. So, we have to check our plug hole here. So it's 17 mil for this one. And we're going to pull it. So, guys, when you're undoing things, I know a lot of people will say, I knew that. Left is loose, right is tight, okay? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. You go the opposite way, you'll break things, right? So, you want to pull it towards you, yeah? Because that's going left. Now, that's on all modern cars in Australia. In America, the threads can be opposite. And also the sizes are, instead of being metric sizes, like millimeters, obviously they'll be in universal sizes. So if you're in America or overseas, a lot of the times it'll be the opposite for you, yeah? But in Australia, it's lefty loosey, the bolts, righty tighty. See? You can take this off. Now this is a fucking art that has been learnt over the years, and I fuck it up a lot. So you got to pull it all the way down to the threshold. This has never been undone before, yeah? Because it's a factory sun plug. It's gonna be tight. This car is brand new, pretty much. I've only had it for like 1 year. So this is its first service. I'm gonna go all the way down. Now the art is you've got to remove the plug without getting oil over yourself. Can be tricky. Gotta be quick. Yep. Now if you do that nice and slow, it's gonna go everywhere. That just takes practice. Our oil is draining. First time I tried to unscrew the sun plug thingy, I almost gave up. Well, that thing would not come off. Yeah, so some mechanics will put Loctite on their on their sun plug bolts. You can, just don't use too much. Do you undo the oil cap for faster flow? Yes, yes you do. So if you want the engine to drain faster, undo your oil cap prior to undoing the sump plug. And the oil will come out much faster because obviously it has... It's like with a... You know when you're pouring like a bottle of water out? You know? If it's... it comes out like glug, glug, glug kind of situation, right? If you had a hole in the top of the bottle, it would flow out straight away. It's the same... It's the same... same concept, yeah? What a hot mess my first time was, and I dropped the plug in the pan. Yeah, this is, like I said, sunshine. It takes a fucking... It takes a bit of time to get right. You've got to you got to be quick like a ninja. Hey T, what's up? How are you today? Car stream, let's do it. Right, so our oil is draining. I need this. I can drive in 2 months. This is so helpful. Well, look, guys, if you missed anything prior to this point, the VOD is available for you. Yeah, so go for it. And I'll also upload this to YouTube so you guys can watch. Right. Perfect. Alright, so our oil is draining. Now, as our oil is draining, I'm gonna bring you back up here. Okay. Bring it back up on the stand. We're gonna learn a few things about our sump plug. Get this sorted. Sorry about the mess. Okay. Head down to the bench over here. Right. Now, this is your sump plug here, right? Each sump plug is going to have a sump plug washer. Now, your sump plug washer, you have to replace it every single time you take the plug out, okay? So as you put the plug in and you do it up, which I'll show you after this washer is going to crush in to the pan and also into the actual plug itself, yeah? So you need to replace this every single time because obviously it's going to get flatter and flatter the more you use it, yeah? Now, a lot of people might not replace that and then they find that their engine leaks. That's because these washers they're made of aluminium and they're crushable, right? Most manufacturers will use crushable washers. You can use generic ones, steel ones as well, but yeah. There's always a different washer for each car because each car has a different sump plug, yeah? Some cars will have Torx plugs, some cars will have bolted plugs. It just depends on what the manufacturer uses. If you have like a Japanese car, you'll find it's more of a bolt situation. A lot of European cars actually use Torx bits, or like Allen keys, yeah, like Allen key type bolts. I don't really know why. That's just the way they do things. The engineers in Germany believe that Torx and Allen keys and stuff like that are actually able to be tightened better, firmer, blah blah blah, than bolts can. I don't agree with that. But like as far as I've seen, a bolt is just as good as a Torx. Neither is better than the other, personally speaking. I've seen both round, I've seen both break. It just depends on how tight you do it and how strong your arm is. There is obviously a Torx setting for everything. Now, when I say Torx setting, I mean like by Newton pound foot or Newton meters. Everything has a setting. Each bolt on your car has a setting of how tight it's supposed to be as per manufacturer specifications. But when it comes to sump plugs, just don't over tighten it. Just do it up. Perfect. It's you don't have to reef it. You know what I mean? You don't have to pull on it so hard that you turn it in a circle. You just need to do it up. Okay? If you do up something by hand and you pull until it stops, that's about 10 Newton meters, yeah? You pull a little bit harder, you get about 20. That's about a sump plug. So you don't need to over tighten them, but you don't need to tighten them up too tight. They don't have to be like sealed to the point where they're just gonna like snap off, yeah? There's a lot of mistakes people make when they're trying to do their own car or whatever. They turn it too tight or they turn it too hard, it snaps straight off. And then they're fucked because their sump plan is fucked and then you have to replace that too. So it's a expensive exercise. Avoid it. Now, This is our new oil filter. Each car has a different type of oil filter. Back in the 80s, every single car in Australia had the same oil filter, and it was easy. It was a Z9, right? Or a Z160, or whatever it might be. Or your Holdens and your Fords and stuff. Nowadays, every car has a different type of filter. It could be a cartridge filter, like a paper filter. It could be a like spin-on. The spin-on filter is like this. You take our plastic off here, so you can see the thread inside here, and your seal. Now this seal is what seals the oil in, and this thread is what bolts up to the filter housing. Now if you look inside there, you can actually see inside the filter. See that paper? The yellow paper in the filter. That's the filament of the filter. That is what is filtering the oil through your engine. So the oil comes up from your sump pan, it goes through your oil pump, goes through your oil filter, and then to your engine. And vice versa. When it comes back down again, it comes back in the sump and it goes back through, and it's a cycle, right? Sump, pump, filter, engine, back to the sump. Okay? So as it circulates through this filter. And this is just to make sure that no dirt, debris, clumps, anything like that gets in your main part of your engine, right? So that's why we replace this every single service. Because if the oil's no good, the filter's no good. Okay? So you should replace this every single service. Filters aren't expensive. They can range from $5 to $50, depending on the size, depending on the manufacturer, depending on the type, depending on the brand. Ryco is more expensive, but usually Ryco is the brand I use for most cars, just because they're good quality, and I'm not sponsored by them, but you know, whatever. I just find that they're just better quality. They work better. Also, when you take your filter off, as you saw, we use a tool. When you put it back on, use your hand. You don't need to use a tool to put a filter back on. So just do it up and hand tight, yeah? Or as tight as you can with your hand. You don't need to do it up with a tool, unless, of course, it is a cartridge filter, like a paper filter with a housing, and it has a torque setting on the top. Okay. Cool. Just joined oil filter. What's up, Reaper? I've got a GFB fuel pressure regulator. I was going to put it in myself. It has an adjustment for fuel pressure, but not a gauge to read it. Might have to take it to a tuner to install. Yeah, I would recommend you do, because if you don't have a specific setting for that, it's going to actually overfuel or underfuel, and it can cause a problem with your engine. So I wouldn't be doing that, because as soon as you get an underfuel and overfuel, your ECU will read too much fuel or too little fuel, and then your air intake will increase or decrease depending on that, and it'll fuck everything. So make sure if you do any modifications to fuel delivery, to air delivery, or to spark injection, or timing, tune your car straight afterwards. Do not wait, because it can actually do damage to other components. Because your ECU is only designed to do what it's told. So if you don't tell it to do something, it won't. It's not an auto-adjusting feature, if that makes sense. Alright, in the meantime, let's have a look here. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, correct. Beautiful gloves. How are you anyway? I'm really good. Thank you. Productive day. Had a good one. How are you today? We're going to do our tire pressures. Now, this is a tire pressure gauge. Okay. A lot of you have seen these at service stations, petrol stations, or gas stations, whatever you might call them. And they always measure things in either kPa, PSI, or bar, right? So, as you can see here, our gauge, if you can see, you guys can see the gauge. I'll just turn the light off there. So our gauge has our numbers and digits on it, right? as you put air into your tire, your gauge is going to go up and down, yeah? Depending on what your tire pressure should be at. Now, for me, I'm going to set this with my compressor. Now, this is our compressor line. We're going to put that on there. And we're going to set our tire pressures. Now, the tire pressures on this car are different to what a normal car would be because it's a truck, yeah? Or a van, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to bring you down here to the tire so we can see where we find our tire pressures. Now, this is our tire, yeah? Now, on each tire, there's going to be writing on each tire, right? As we can see. First coffee, then school run. Nice. So, on each tire, you're going to have a set of different writing on the tire. And each one's going to mean different things, right? Now, when you see the big numbers on the tire, this is actually related to your tire size, yeah? So if your tire size, so this one says 215/70/R16C. So what that entails is is the rolling diameter of your car and the width and the actual size, yeah? So a 16-inch tire because it's a 16-inch rim, yeah? So from here to here, across your diameter, the 16 inches. So that's what the 16's for, yeah? Now, 215 is obviously your width of your tyre and the size of your tyre. So 215/70, 215/70. Does that make sense? So 215/70. Good? Easy. Right. Moving on from there, it's going to tell you all the different bits and pieces, branding, all that kind of stuff. The other thing you got to look for here, your load rating. So your load rating is going to be on your tire. That's the maximum amount of air pressure that you can have in this tire at cold. Okay. So for this tire, max load for this single tire in pounds, 2,205 pounds, right? So that's the maximum weight that can be on this tire singly. So on this axle, right? That doesn't include all 4 tires, yeah? Just this tire itself. At 55 psi cold, okay? So you don't want to be pumping these tires up any higher than 55 psi at cold, okay? They're cold at the moment. But just because there's a max tire pressure doesn't mean you need to put your tire pressures to that max tire pressure, right? So what you want to be doing, there is actually a sticker on your door, right? There's a sticker on your door in every single one of your cars, guys. I don't know whether you guys know this. There's a sticker on your door, either the passenger side or driver's side, depending on which manufacturer or model it is. It will have your tire pressure on that sticker, okay? So the average tire pressure for a small hatch car, say you got a Corolla, or an i30, or a Yaris, or whatever it might be, your average tire pressure on those cars is 32, one passenger, okay? So if you have you just driving the car, no luggage, 32 psi, okay? Anything higher than that, if you are 2 people and luggage, so you have someone in the passenger seat with you, and you have, say, bags or golf clubs or whatever you have in the back, you want about 36 psi. And that's sort of like the max you want for your average SUV. That goes for your Corollas, your Camrys, just in general, yeah, your Peugeot 206, all that kind of stuff. All of the basic cars, your Volkswagen, Golf, your Audi Q3, whatever it might be. The simple passenger cars, 32 to 36 psi is plenty, okay? Anything below that is too low. Anything above that's too high. Again, it depends what kind of vehicle it is, how heavy it is. The heavier the vehicle, the more air pressure you're going to need in the tyre, depending on what your load rating is on your tyre. Is everyone good with that? Any questions? Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to do my tire pressure. So for me on this one, I'm going to actually set them all to 42. Or probably 45, depending. Because I do have a lot of stuff in this car. So this car is actually loaded up to about 2 and a bit ton. So you want to get about Yeah, 42 to 45 psi in each tire for this car. They were down to about 30, so I'm gonna put 300 kPa. So that's about 43, 44 psi. Makes sense? Yeah, cool. If anyone else has any more questions about tires or anything related to the drivetrain, ask away. I'm just going to go around the car now and do these. I won't be able to read the chat, but ask your questions and I'll be back with you in 2 secs. Also, if anyone has any other general knowledge questions about their own cars, I'm more than happy to answer them if I can, or if I can assist you or send you in the right direction for information. You can definitely do that. So we've done 2 tires now. Just going around the car to do the other 2. So this compressor is actually pretty good. Should be able to do everything quite easily because it is a high compressor. Oh, it has a 260 kPa compressor, so it's like workshop grade. It's actually bolted in the back of the truck. Again, thanks for coming past, guys, and checking out the stream as well. I appreciate it. If you're new, we mostly play games, Minecraft, Fortnite, that kind of stuff. But I like doing IRL stuff too, chats, community shit. Alright. So, next, I'll move you back over here. We're going to take our oil filter out. Might be able to see under there. I'm going to take the oil filter out now. And we're going to see, so we're going to spin it out and it's actually going to let off a whole butt of oil. So I'm going to do that now. You reach over this bad boy. Gonna be messy. Always are. There we go. So that oil filter there, draining. Alright, so that's our old oil filter. As you can see, yeah. This is why we replace them every time. You see how the seal's starting to go on the outside edge here too, like it's all dirt and debris and shit. So we're replacing it and putting a new one in. Every service. So we'll stick up that here. Alright, so we're all gonna, before we put our oil filter and everything back in, we're gonna replace our sump plug washer. So we're gonna get a new one of those. I have everything in here because obviously it's my job. Alright, so we got a new plug. Right, so like you see here, a new washer. So we put a new washer on there, and that's going to be perfect for that. Now before we put that in, we're going to replace our filter. Now with the filter, before you put it in, you want to run some, like a thin line of oil around the seal. So if you see here, how we've got our seal here, we're just going to do this. We're going to dip our finger in here, and we're just going to do this. Yeah? Now all that is just making sure the sealing surface is mated with the engine, and so it doesn't leak prior to us installing it. So we're going to put that back on. You want? If we can roll our fucking creeper under without the wheels breaking. Find the seal. Sorry, find the thread there. And thread it back on. Don't force it, just let it find its home. Alright, we're on. And like I said, we're going to wind it all the way back up. Pull it hand tight. Move this over a little bit so I can get my other hand in there. Good. We're going to double check that after we do our plug up. I'll bring you down underneath now. Going down again. Let's go this way. Alright. So you guys can see the sump. So see how the plug is out there. So we're going to put our new plug back in. We're going to do her up. Get our ratchet. Oh, not ratchet, sorry. Put your ring spanner. Plug, new plug. Straight back in. Now just make sure you don't force the thread, just make sure you find home before you turn it. And it should go in pretty easy. Yeah, there we go. Now it probably, sometimes they get to a point, because this is a new sump, be a little bit fucking stubborn. So you let that, get that all the way in. So you can do it up finger tight, so it's finger tight now. And now when we do it up, like I said, turn a little, and then a little extra. That's it. That's how tight you're supposed to do it. If you do it any tighter than that, you're gonna fucking thread it, or turn the thread, yeah? But that's as tight as it needs to be. Now, each sump might be different. So like sometimes you'll get a European sump that has like a torque setting on it. Just do whatever the torque setting says from the manufacturer. You can never go wrong with instructions. If the instructions from the manufacturer are incorrect and you end up turning it off, it's their problem, isn't it? You did everything that you were supposed to do, yeah? You can't fucking get blamed for that. Now, drag this out here. We're going to pull our oil out. Without throwing it all over the place. Right, so while we're under here, I'm just going to double check. Double check my filter. Make sure that's done up correctly. Yep, that's good. Make sure there's no oil around the edges. Good. Alright. So, we've changed our filter. We've changed our plug. Is there anything else underneath the car, guys, that you would like me to go over for you, if you're not sure what you're looking at? I'm happy to help you. But generally speaking, it's all pretty simple stuff. So obviously sump pan is the base of your engine. You're belting that tool up here. Crank, or vibration dampener to crank. A couple of earth connections, some intake pipes, nothing crazy that I can get into. And obviously you got your chassis brace and all the rest. Right. So, what we can do next is I can show you. I'll show you what your old oil will look like. Might be interesting to check out. We'll drag that over here. Try not to drop the camera in it. It's always a good plan. Right. This is your old oil, yeah? Now, you'll notice the difference between old oil and new oil, yeah? So your old oil is gonna look like this. Like dark, black, disgusting, yeah? It's pretty fucking gross. Your new oil will be clear. Now oil goes black as soon as it starts to heat up. So, generally speaking, oil that's been used for more than 1,000 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers will change color to black anyway, right? But diesel engines burn very hot. So the oil that comes out of a diesel engine will look way worse or way more black than the oil that comes out of a petrol engine, generally speaking. So we're going to use a different type of oil as always because hydrocarbons and stuff, etc., etc. It's very complicated, but I'll go through it for you. Is there a plug to drain the radiator? On some cars, yes. Not all cars, no. So some cars there is, not all cars do. How do you have to dispose of that? So, I actually recycle it. So what happens is I put it into these big drums, these big 205 containers. I have a guy that comes and pumps it into his truck, and he actually sells it on to people who put it into bar heaters. So if you've ever seen a bar heater in a house, like a bar heater as in like something that, you know, like heater for winter, the oil that's inside your bar heater is recycled oil from cars. So that's usually how they recycle it. Other ways they do it, they'll sift it. So they'll sift it into a big filter box, and they'll get all the hydrocarbons out, and they can use it in different products and varieties of things. So there is a way to dispose of it and recycle it, but not always. Not always. What's the service interval for halogen fluid? Look, I'll leave that up to you, country. You're a smart man. If you guys don't know, Pit Slayer, country, as I like to call him, my mate IRL, he is also a mechanic, and he is trolling the fuck out of me, and I love you for it. There's no such thing as halogen fluid. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. Much love, dude. Alright, so next we're going to put our new oil in. But we're also going to put our bottom cover back on. So I'm going to dispose of this in a container first, and then we'll put our new oil in, yeah? Let's do that. I'm going to bring you up here so you can watch me put this away. So I put it into like empty drums, so empty 20s, as we like to call it, and then I dispose of it afterwards into my warehouse drum. How do I change the tires on my TARDIS? Is that you trolling me? What do you mean? What the fuck is the TARDIS? Doctor Who joke? Yeah, I thought you were trolling me. Good one. I don't know Doctor Who. I'm sorry. I'm not a Doctor Who enthusiast. All right. So the best thing about this particular drain pan, it has a spout on it, so you can just pour it straight into your drum. No mess, no problems, no funnel. It's genius, really. You can get these from Super Cheap Auto for like $40. They're absolutely brilliant. Or if you're overseas, any retail store, like filter place that you buy oil and filters from, you can get them. They're fucking cheap as shit, and they're fantastic. So literally, you just pour it straight in, no mess. Super awesome, especially because I'm working on people's cars at their house, right? So I don't want to get any oil on their driveway or anything, right? So perfect thing, really. And then I also have the tray underneath, you'll notice. So the tray underneath is just to catch excess oil or spillage or anything, to make sure I don't make a mess on anyone's driveway. Neither do I, to be honest. Trolling with love. Yeah, I love that. On a serious note, a mate had a young lady walk in a workshop he was working at, asking about halogen fluid and which one to buy, because her mechanic that I just serviced her car told her it would need replacing soon. Oh, really? Wow. Look, there's a lot of fuckwits in my industry. Don't get me wrong, they'll take advantage of you. You just need to be smart enough to know when they're talking shit. Unfortunately, that's the same in any industry, right? A lot of industries have a lot of cunts and fuckwits in them. Not everyone can does the job properly. Some people troll, some people take your money for nothing. It happens. You just got to be careful. Especially, I find, especially if you're a female, and no offense to the ladies in the chat, if you're a female, they like to take advantage of you. See you coming, you know. Some blokes think, oh, this chick has no idea. Some blokes have no idea, mind you. But a lot of the mechanics, so this bloke or this chick knows nothing about cars. I'm gonna charge them an arm and a leg for this when I know it's not that expensive, but they don't know, yeah. So you just gotta be careful and know what you're talking about. How does one slay pits? You'll have to ask him. Oh, he Blazing Waffles rating? Mr. Waffle, how are we? Any mods in the chat? I got you. True, especially as it's obvious I don't know much about the brooms. Yeah! Exactly. How are we, Waffle? Good, mate? Just about to jump back underneath now and put our tray back on, or our under tray. Now each car that you have, or each modern car, will have an under tray to catch or leaks, dirt, debris, oil, road slick, whatever it might be. So you got to be careful when you undo that. You take it off and have a look. Sometimes you won't notice you have a leak because the tray will catch it. So it's always important to check, yeah? Fuck, the camera's all messed up. Hold on a second. How are we today, Waffle? What'd you play? Bit of Warzone vibes? I'm sure. Right, back underneath we go. Had to pee? Oh, well, hope you had a good pee. As you the sexy mechanic. Let's go, baby. Gotta go work, but I'm gonna book my lol in for a good service. Such a helpful stream. Thank you so much. I'll rewatch on YouTube. Yeah, no worries. I'll post on YouTube as soon as we're done. Run my gears any day of the week. Let's go. Alright. My gaming name is Pitts Special Aircraft, as I love my aeroplanes. At the same time as listening to Raining Blood by Slayer. Look, that's the best advice you can add. Hey, Moo, thank you for the 200 biddies. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Whoa! Azure is here as well. Hey, what's the go with that? Hey, Blazing Waffle, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs, my friend. I appreciate that. What a fucking beast. Let's fucking go, baby. Dadzilla is now sub. Yeah, he is a sub, yeah. How are we, Ragnar? Can you do me another shout out for It's Moo and our friend Blazing Waffle, please? Did Tom get one as well? Fantastic. Fantastic. Love that. Love that. Alright, we're gonna put our under tray back on. That's our under tray just out. Gonna do these up by hand. I've been here for a couple of days. You run a workshop? Yeah, I have my own business. Aussie. Hey, Natty by Nature, thank you so much for coming in the raid, right? Legend. I see you everywhere. Oh, put this back on. Ten gifted subs from the man himself. The big waffle dog. I really appreciate that love, bro. Alright. Couple of bolts I'm gonna chuck in here. I can't read the chat right now, but I'll get back to you in a sec. Gonna put our bolts in before we do them up, huh? Usually it works. Astro, by the way, how you been, man? I saw you in the chat. You sexy motherfucker. How's your day today, man? You're back to work, right? Hopefully, after all this other stuff that's going on in the city and stuff, yeah? Because I know Melbourne's having some problems with the unions, with the construction workers rioting against vaccinations, I believe. Heard about it on the news yesterday and today. It's all over the socials. Sunshine Cat, 20 biddies. Thank you so much for the 20 biddies, Sunshine Cat. Appreciate you. Least I can do, you are the GOAT, my guy. I appreciate you as well, dude. Thank you so much. What are you fixing up today? We're just doing a service an hour on my Hyundai iLoad 2020 diesel. I hate that person who attacked that 7 News reporter. That was disgusting. Yeah, that was... He threw urine on him or something. That was a bit fucking weird, wasn't it? That was a bit gross. You know what? There's a lot of fuckwits out there. You just gotta, if you guys... Like, a lot of people I find, if they're trying to, like, promote a cause that they're trying to, like... You know, be heard by or whatever it might be. They have a way of doing it in a peaceful way. They don't need to be violent about it, yeah? But then there's always the minority of fuckwits that make the majority of good people look like shit. Because it's the same reason, like, everyone always reads the bad reviews, right? Like, no one ever reads the good reviews. It's the same thing, right? If you go to a restaurant, you go on, what is it, Yelp or WhatsApp or whatever it might be. You look at the reviews for that restaurant. It has 7,000 positive reviews about the chicken. There'll be one person in there that says, I hated the chicken was undercooked. And then you'll pick a new restaurant. Based on that one fucking person. And don't lie to me, I know you all do it. But that's what it's like, yeah? That one review, like, determines your entire setting on that restaurant, even though it's had a million good ones. So it only takes one fuckwit to ruin a protest on something that might actually have validation. If that makes sense. Is this one fucking not going in or what? Oh, there we go. Just need a little bit of extra love. Alright, 2 to go, and then we'll jump up and put our oil in. Did you guys learn something today, or are learning stuff today? Oh, it's quite interesting. Well, it's not that interesting for me because I do it every day, but it might be interesting for you guys, right? Tons of fuckwads. Some, I read the negatives to find Karens. Yeah, there's Karens everywhere. Fucking Karens, man. Karens rule the world, though, let's be honest. One Karen can ruin 5,000 Brians. And all Brian wanted to do was get a feed, you know? But Karen ruined it. Fucking Karen. Alright, guys. So now we're going to jack our car back down, yeah? So like I said before, I have the chocks in the back, so I'm going to take the chocks out first. Chocks out. Right, so we're going to get our jack. Again, there's always a set place for your jack. On this one, it's a chassis rail at the front. If you're not sure where you're supposed to jack your car from, check the manufacturer's specifications in the book, or have a mechanic assist you. So our jack point is there. Right, and we're going to jack it all the way up until we leave the stands. So not quite, about there. Okay. Make sure your jack is all the way done up before you jack it. You don't want the car to fall on your face. Now we take our jack stands out. If you don't know what you're doing, don't touch it, or we have to fix some mistakes. Exactly, Rags. And I said that at the start of this stream. I said this whole stream is not so that you should service your car yourself. This is a stream to show you where things are in your car and why we do things. You should always get a professional to do it. If you do it yourself, you are allowed to. It is your car. It is your product. But if you fuck it up, it's your own fault. So also, if your car is within warranty and you do touch it and you do modify it in any way, shape or form, your warranty is void in accordance to your manufacturer's warranty. Just keep it in mind before you decide to do anything on your own car. Do it at your own risk. This is advice and showing you Yeah, showing you how to do things. Thank you for the 5 biddies, Blazing Waffle. Hondo, how are you, mate? Don't know why I can't share any bits. Your biddy limit for the month? I don't know, man. It's all good. You don't need to. It's all good. Has to be in sets of 5. Yes, it does. Good looking mechanic. Hey, mum. How you going? Alright. Good job. Thank you. Alright, so guys. We are back up top here. So I've got my funnel in my engine cover. Obviously where your cap goes. So we're going to put our oil in now. Now keep your dipstick out while you do this. Just helps it fill it faster. You know how I said before, a bottle of water with a hole in it is going to flow faster than a bottle of water without one. Same concept for your engine, yeah? So that's the reason why we take the cap off when we drain the oil. It comes out faster. Now the oil we use for this one, because it is a diesel and it is a modern day diesel, is something called 5W30C3. It's quite thin, but it's got properties and hydrocarbons in it for a certain type of low emission engine. So we got our little tub. Gonna head off, mate. Gotta start sorting out dinner. Have a great stream. No worries, Pit Slayer. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for stopping by. Right, I'm just gonna drain some oil into this for you. Now, this engine itself takes about 6 and a bit litres. Hondo! Thanks for the resub, Hondo. Welcome back to the Zilla Patch. 3 months. Love that. And 100 biddies. Oh, you're too kind, man. You're too kind. Thank you so much. Can we get a shout out for Hondo? Ragnar is still in the chat. Appreciate that, bro. I'll get you one off this. Hondo is a Warzone player. Really nice guy. Go give him a follow if you are a Warzone fan. Same as Blazing Waffle. Alright, so. This is our new oil here. I'm going to show you something real quick. Now, you know how I showed you how black that oil was? I want you to look at this one, right? Look how different this is. Now, I'm going to get a light on this so you can see. Look how clear that is. Right? In comparison to the oil that came out of the car, that shit is like brand new, yeah? So the oil that came out of the car was disgusting and black because obviously increasing in temperature, hydrocarbons burn, turns black. And then it starts to clump after a while if you don't change it. So this is our new oil, and you can see, if you look really carefully, you see all the bubbles? All the bits and bobs in there. There are your cleaning agents and your hydrocarbons in there. They cool? Alright. So, from there, we're now going to put this oil in. So this is 3 litres, so we're going to need the double this. But we're going to go 3 to start. Because you don't want to put too much in. If you put 5 litres in this thing, and then try to pour it in, you'll fucking pour it everywhere. We don't want to make a mess because it's fucking difficult to clean up. That's not what we want, yeah? Oh, it's my pleasure, Hondo. You're a good dude, man. Never changed, dude. Never changed. Alright, so we've got 3 litres in already. Now we don't, if an engine, say, takes 6.5 litres, we don't put 6.5 litres in before we check it, okay? So what we're going to put in, we're going to put, I'm going to put 5.5 litres in, okay? And then we're going to run the car, and then we're going to check it. So in order to check your, does everyone know how to check their oil? Can I get a yes in the chat if you know how to check your oil? Or is there anyone in the chat who doesn't know how to check their oil? Go Crash fam, love you too. Have a great rest of your stream. Hey Waffle, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. And for the biddies, bro. I appreciate you very much. And always will show love to you. Forever and ever and ever, my man. You are one of the OGs, brother. I remember meeting you, literally. It would be 11 months ago now. What's your followage? Before you go, mate. I remember it must have been 11 months that I met you. I met you and Annalise 11 months ago in Biz Queen's chat. That's how long ago that was. Yeah. But you didn't follow until after that. You know what I mean. I met you guys last October. Also, maybe no, dipstick? Yeah, so what we're going to do is, we'll put the rest of this in here. Six months is a lie. It is. That is bullshit. I agree. I'm pretty sure it's 11 months. Annalise did hers the other day, and hers was like 11 months and 2 days or something, so. Because it's my 1 year on Twitch on Saturday. 1 year Twitch anniversary on Saturday. So that should be fun. We're gonna have a big drinking stream on Saturday. Right, so Groovy, what's up, bro? So we put our oil in, just about a litre less than capacity, yeah? So we put a litre less than capacity, we put our oil in, our dipstick is in now, yeah? So what I'm going to do is to check our oil, we need to start the car first, yeah? So once we start the car, we only have to let the car run for, say, 5-10 seconds, yeah? Because that's how long it takes for the oil to circulate through the system once. Okay, modern cars, the oil circulates in seconds. Literally seconds. So to run it for 5 to 10 seconds is plenty. So we're going to run it, okay? And then 5-10 seconds, turn it off. And then we're going to wait about 30 seconds. Then we're going to take our dipstick out and we're going to check our oil, okay? Alright, so I'm going to get my key. Right. Back working again, love to see it. Yeah, bro, back to work this week. So, finally back amongst it, which is good. So, the car has run for 10 seconds, and we heard, you wouldn't have heard it because obviously you don't have a microphone out here, but basically when the car runs, you'll hear it kind of clatters a little bit as the oil gets through, and then it runs smooth as soon as the oil has pushed through the system. Now, to check it, we're going to take our dipstick out. Right, we're going to clean it. Clean our dipstick. Right? Now you see our 2 marks. You can see there, so we've got 1 mark here, 1 mark here. So this is your low mark, this is your high mark. Okay? So we're going to put our stick back in now. That's right. Put the stick in the hole. That's what she said. In we go. All the way to the bottom. Out again. Now we look at our stick. Now as you can see, the oil is all the way down here, which means we're going to have to put more oil in. Okay? So the point from here to here, generally speaking, or universally, is 1 litre. Okay? So we're going to put 1 litre in, and then we're going to check it again. Okay? So we're going to put our funnel back in. So 1 more litre, and then we'll recheck it. And basically, you're just going to put little bit by little bit by little bit back in the car until you get to the top of the full mark. Now, you don't want to overfill an engine, so it's better to put less in and check it again, than put too much in and have to drain it again. Because that takes a lot of fucking time and effort. We don't want to do that again, do we? Right. I never thought about overfilling. That would suck. Yeah, overfilling a car means we have to start all over again. There is extraction. You can extract it out of the engine with like a machine, but nobody owns one of them unless you're a millionaire or a mechanic. So chuck that in there. You wouldn't buy one for yourself, you know. Pull her out. Now we can see how the oil has moved up the stick. Yeah. However, we still need to get to this mark. So we've still got plenty more oil to put in. So we're going to put another ½ litre in and check her again. It's a process, but you get there eventually. Right, so we got another ½ litre. Hey, Rebels here. Put your disc in my tank, please. Yeah. And Fruitbox, welcome in, dude. Car streams are back. Back at work, finally. I'm trying to get back to work. I mean, at least part-time, if not getting back to full-time. Because fuck the government. I want to do my job. So I've got exemptions from my local members. I've made sure, I'm a go-getter, guys. I go ahead and get all this shit done because I want to make sure I can make a living, yeah? So I've gone back to get an exemption, and now I can go back to doing my job without being bothered by the police, which is fantastic. So, we put our stick back in, checking. Alright, so we're getting there. See how it takes quite a long time to get all the oil in. So our full mark is still here. So we've got a little bit more to go yet. A little weight off the shoulders. Yeah, off your shoulders. Yeah. 100%, bro. I am sick of sitting at home, twiddling my thumbs and watching my business go down the shitter. So I need to get back to work for not just for my own sanity, but also for my own pocket, because as you guys know, running a business costs a lot of money. And if you don't have cash flow and you don't have profit coming in, the bills still pile up. So the bills have been piling up for a couple of months now. And I've been able to pay them, but it has been a little bit rough. So a lot of credit and a lot of fucking problems. But I'll be able to make it back soon enough. So I'm not too worried about it. It's just it's a setback, but it's only a minor one. Like, I reckon within the next 3 or 4 months, I'll be able to get back on top of it, make some money, and have a profit again. But again, it is what it is. Local members, where can I find them? Am I right? Yeah, I know, right? So no, I actually went to the members' office, my parliamentary members' office, and talked to them about it. Because I said, mate, my business is suffering for no fucking reason. Please let me go back to my job. I need you to put it in writing so that if the police pull me up, like they did the first time, I won't have to answer to anyone about it, and I won't have any problems. Because I was doing my job, I don't know whether you guys know this, I was doing my job 3 months ago, as COVID was sort of taking off in Sydney, and the mandatory lockdown came in and all this other shit. And then, when I was doing my job one day, the police pulled me up and told me I wasn't allowed to. And I asked them why, and they told me that they didn't need to tell me why, that it was a public health order, and that I should move on. And I told them to go fuck themselves, and then I had to leave. So. But now, I've taken the steps to get that all sorted. Now, as you can see, guys, look here. Our full mark is here, and we're at our full mark. So we are full. So all the oil that we need to put back in the car is back in the car now. So let's get some fucking hype in the chat. We're at full! We'll shove that back in the hole, like she wants. Take out our funnel. Chuck our cap back on. When you put your cap on, you don't need to refit, just done. Sweet as. Alrighty. Guys, if you missed the stream, by the way, if you've missed anything during the stream today, I'm going to re-upload the entire video to YouTube, so you guys can tune in and check it out. There will be future videos for car streams. I'm going to be doing a service on my WRX track car soon. I'm also going to be doing a couple of services on a couple of customers' cars as well that I've gotten permission for. And there's also going to be some stuff on brakes. I'm going to do some brake changes. I'm going to do some brake fluid pumping. I'm going to do some air filters and oil filters and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a how-to knowledge-based situation so you guys can actually learn something. Again, guys, this is me just doing my job. I don't expect you to emulate this or anything. It's just more for your knowledge and information than it is for you to help you service your own car. If you do want to service your own car, it's up to you, but again, it's at own risk. And if you fuck it up, you'll have to get a mechanic anyway. So don't service your own car unless you're qualified. But at least you know if you get stuck somewhere or whatever, you might need something. You know where everything is, yeah? Just quickly, I'm going to show you this here. This is your airbox here, right? Now your air filter is in your airbox. Now to get that out, it's going to be fairly simple. There's a couple of clips on the side here. Undo that. And it should pop straight off. Now we're just going to check our air filter. Which is in here. It comes out there. Alright, this is our air filter. To check the condition of your air filter, generally speaking, most air filters come in like a white filament or a red filament, depending on what brand they are. Sometimes yellow as well. Basically, you'll be able to see the dirt, yeah? So if you open up the insides of this here, you'll be able to see if there's dirt in there. If it's black, or if there's leaves and fucking pebbles and all sorts of shit in this, replace it. Now, air filters, like oil filters, fairly cheap, depending on which vehicle you have. Like your oil filters, I said, $5 to $50 depending. Air filters are similar price. Depending on what brand you get, where you get them from, who you buy them from. Genuine obviously is more expensive because the dealership likes to fuck you in the ass. But you can buy anything generic, like when it comes to filters, from any place, any shop. Just depends how much money you want to spend on what quality you want. So just keep that in mind. Now an air filter, generally speaking, you don't have to replace it every service. You can usually, give it a slap and tap, see if any dirt comes out. Should be fine to put back in. There will be manufacturer specifications in your book as to when you replace your air filter. Some manufacturers would be like 3 years. 45,000 Ks, or some people will say 40,000 Ks.
I have to head off to bed, but tism for all of this awesome info at Rugged Adzilla. Sensor 88 GG 11 out of 10 seems good 5.
Hey, thank you so much, Sunshine Cat. Thank you for the 50 biddies, I appreciate it. And look, have a great sleep. We'll be streaming a little bit later as well, guys. We're going to stream some Minecraft tonight when I get home. So this is the first stream of 2 today, so we grinding. After I cook my dinner and shit. Alright, so this bad boy's going to go back in. We put that back in and we do up our glimpse. Right. So, your checklist, yeah? So guys, for our checklist, yeah, we're thinking, what have we done? We've replaced our oil, done our oil filter, we've replaced our sun plug washer, we've topped up our washer fluid and put our additive in. We've the brake fluid, you only need to do that once every 2 years, yeah. So this year we're gonna leave that. Next year we'll replace it. Air filter we've checked, it's fine. Doesn't need to be replaced for a while. We've checked our battery. Our battery is at the correct capacities for cranking and starting. Everything else, such as fuel filters, transmission fluid, all those kind of things, are all they don't have to be done every service either. It depends again on your manufacturer specifications, but a lot of the times, it will be like every 4 years, every 6 years. Same with spark plugs and stuff. Obviously, being a diesel, this one doesn't have spark plugs, but every single serviceable item will be allocated in your service manual. You'll be able to read that. So if you guys look into your glove box, if you have a new car or a used car, you should have a service manual or owner's manual. There'll be an owner's manual, a service manual, workshop manual, right? The service manual, you'll be able to see all the intervals of your car's service and what has to be replaced at each interval. Now, if you take your car into a mechanic, and he should obviously, or she should obviously know the interval of service for your car based on your kilometers, based on your service history, and based on the condition of the vehicle. If you want to check that before you take the car so that someone doesn't say replace something unnecessarily, you can do that because you'll have a service history in that book. Because every single time your mechanic services your car, he will stamp that book for you, or she will stamp that book for you, write in the kilometers and the date. So you'll know exactly when your next service is due. You'll find that people put on stickers on their windscreens as well to indicate that. And with modern cars, they actually have a service interval light that comes on. You'll notice that if you have a European car from anywhere from like 2011 onwards, they'll have a service interval light that will come on and tell you that you're due for service based on kilometers or time. But each manufacturer has different intervals for service and for different intervals for different components that need to be done. So just check your book and that'll tell you. And if you have any other questions, just ask, basically. So we're pretty much done, guys. So we've done our full service, or basic first service. Basic first service is pretty simple: checking all your fluids, replacing your oil and filter, doing your tire pressures, and just making sure everything is spick and spec. Usually, as well, a mechanic will always go under your so under your chassis, check all your drivetrain, check your brakes, check all that. I've already done that prior, and there's not really much I can show you with this camera at this angle. Again, one day, or one of the next streams we'll do for cars, we're going to replace brakes. So I'm going to do a brake pad and disc replacement for you guys, so you see how brakes and pads come apart and get put back together. So just for interest sake, I'm going to show you how to change a tyre when we do that next, because obviously we'll have to take the tyre off to do the brakes, so we'll do that at the same time. And any other major services work or anything that I do, if I can film it or whatever, I will show you. Brakes, I want to see that, something I don't know. Yeah, dude, it's pretty straightforward. Especially on modern cars. Modern cars are real simple. They have floating calipers. So there's like 4 bolts, pretty much. So you've got all your bolts for your wheels. Obviously, your wheel comes off. You've got your 2 bolts for your caliper, your 2 bolts for your caliper carrier, and obviously then you just got to unbolt your disc if it has a nut or bolt in it. It's pretty straightforward, bro. I'll show you how to machine, like also how to clean the inside of your wheel hubs. I'll show you how to where the tire balancing is. how to lubricate your brakes correctly, all that kind of stuff. We'll be doing that in the future, probably in a couple of weeks maybe. I'll do one of them when I get the opportunity to do so. Again, I'll also be doing a service on my WRX track car, so we're going to be able to do that as well. That's pretty much only track driven. It's not registered on the road, so it's a bit of a cool performance car we can check out as well. Something different. And I've got my other car, the Volkswagen Jetta, so I can do a service on that soon and show you guys how that works as well. A little bit different to this. Anyway, pretty cool. So that's going to be me today, but I will be back. I'll be back in like 3 hours. We're going to run some Minecraft tonight. So we're going to run some Minecraft when I get home. So in about 3 hours time. So I really appreciate everyone coming in. Thank you Blazing Waffle for the raid. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs as well. And the biddies. Thank you Sunshine Cat, Hondo for the resub. And the Sunshine Cat for the biddies as well. And yeah, if I've missed anyone, I apologize. But also, it was Moo, yeah? Moo gave another 200 bits as well. So thank you for all the love, guys. I think we are at... I think the sub count is like 650 at the moment. Which is basically because we had the big charity drive. Usually our sub count's around 300, but we had like nearly 300 gifted subs for charity. So I really appreciate everyone's effort on that. If you guys want to wear, we raised $1,760 last week for Beyond Blue. And gifted that to charity live on stream. We also raised $1,000 for Headspace 2 weeks ago as well. So you guys are built different. Our community is amazing. I love all of you. But yeah, hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully that was interesting. You guys, if you guys are keen to see more car stuff, please jump in the Discord and let me know what different things you would